promise I'll be shorter, folks. I'm not a Jessupian. The closest I get to Jessup is my in-laws. My father-in-law was born and raised in Jessup. But the greatest moment of my life was standing on the sideline with the Valley View football team when they won a state championship. So, I appreciate the opportunity to be here and speak very briefly tonight. Here at the request of my colleague, Representative Frank Farina, and this proposed venture for Jessup in northeastern Pennsylvania. As state legislators, we are faced with many different issues, and a lot of those issues are very emotional issues. They are extremely emotional issues with opposing views nearly every time. There is very rarely something that comes before us as state legislators where there is just one view and it just sails right through without anyone that is either upset or anyone that wants to lodge a complaint. We as elected officials are chosen by you, the people, to lead, to listen to both sides, to become informed, and then make the decisions that we feel are best for our constituents. As for this particular issue, being from the 114th district, I am looking at the economic possibilities and how exciting it could be for northeastern Pennsylvania, a project of this magnitude. I'm a member of the House Finance and Local Government Committee, and issues such as these are of interest to me and are of interest to the members of those committees. But I am also very concerned about the environment, and I have made that known a number of times in regard with the drilling for Marcellus Shale and the fact that it must, if it's going to be done, it must be done in the most responsible and safest way possible. We as legislators, just as you the people, want to make sure that if something is done in your community, it is done safely and as safely as possible. I have yet to learn, I want to learn more about this company and about this project. What I've seen so far, basically on what they've done, they are a quality company. This will bring job creation, additional tax revenue, and future host community benefits. And it could prove to be beneficial to Jessup and for all of northeastern Pennsylvania, as it opens up the possibility for more industry and more jobs for the region. I appreciate the opportunity to be here to learn more about this project as you are. And one thing I do want to assure you, I know that that your feelings for Representative Farina right now are not, yes. But I do want to assure you that watching him in Harrisburg over the first 2 years, he does have your best interest in his heart. He wants to do what is right. You have a panel of experts up here. Talk to them. Ask them questions. Listen to what they have to say. I don't know all of these members up here. I do know Charlie Charlesworth and the fact that there is nothing that is closer to his heart than Trout Unlimited and the fishing, the sport of fishing and the streams. Bernie McGurl, I know how important the river corridor is to him. We have Sunita Aurora here. She's going to answer you honestly. She may have to sell your property someday. She's not going to.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Why would she steer you in a wrong direction if it's going to mean something for her business? So listen, ask your questions, listen to what they have to say. Thank you.
We're going to start the question and answer portion. I'm going to call up people's name up as they signed in. With the first name, will come to the podium and have 3 minutes to speak, would be Father Rabel.
How many minutes? 3. Attorney Kane. 45.
My name is Bob Mully. May I request, I mean, 3 minutes to give somebody an opportunity to speak. How much can they say in 3 minutes? This is one of the most important issues that ever hit Lackawanna County. I think that at least 5 minutes would suffice here. 3 minutes.
The last 3 speeches took almost a half an hour. There were 2 different people with pens. Yeah, there were 2 different pens.
But, excuse me. I think that's a reasonable request. 5 minutes and I would judge that on when we do the budget and people have a chance to speak on the budget in Harrisburg, we limit it to 5 minutes. So
That's fair.
that's the most important issue in the state, just like this is the most important issue locally here. 5 minutes is fine.
It's the most important issue that ever hit Lackawanna County.
I agree. I agree.
First of all, when I came here, I didn't expect to speak. But if everybody knows me, I'm always ready to say something. And I can put my 2 cents worth in. Now, I was a pastor in St. Michael's in Jessup for 4 years. I have a love for Jessup for that reason. I invested 4 years. And first of all, you should understand, to be honest about it, I don't represent the Diocese of Scranton. I'm here as one who is very interested in benefits of people. One thing in the church teaches a living wage, a living wage. And when I hear that there are construction workers and 30 jobs that would be living wages, I hope, I appreciate that. Now, yes, church and state, we're supposed to work together. Now, first of all, we have a problem in this country, a lack of trust in one another. And there's a reason for that. And so this company, I tell them they have a responsibility to act very upright. You have to sell yourself. And in other words, I'm a fool if you can't sell yourself. And the people here in Jessup, I'm sure they're suspicious and fearful. And there's good reason for that. We're afraid. We don't trust the police anymore. In some places, they don't trust a priest. So I don't stand up here because I'm a priest. I stand here because I believe in a living wage. And hopefully, we can get the benefit for those who can need it. Now, if you have a job and you're getting well paid, the temptation today, the Holy Father tells us, we feel no need for anybody else. We don't care what others are. If I have a good job, if I have a good home, I have everything. Forget about everybody else, the marginalized. But as a priest, and in one of respect for the Holy Father Francis, I say, I believe in the fringe person. And if anyone of those 30 jobs can bring a goodness to a family, I'm all for it, it's all possible. But there again, I still, with this company, I hold them, we trust them, and they have to live up with that trust. And I believe they will, hopefully. In your prayers, please pray. I believe in the power of prayer.
I'm going to read these names as best as I can. The handwriting. Ronald Wassel.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Ronald P. Wassel. I live up in Jessup on Church Street. And I want to thank Frank Farina, our representative, for having our town hall meeting tonight. My question is, it's more detailed type questions. How is the EPA actually going to monitor the sound water and air quality? Is it going to be through a specific plan, laws? How are the testing going to be? How often? And what happens if these limits are violated? I know we've had problems in the area already with the battery plant and the print plant in the area when they're disposing of hazardous waste. So that's my question.
I'll address your question to air quality. This type of plant has, for the most important pollutants, sulfur oxides, nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide. There are continuous emission monitors on it. For the sulfur oxides, it's the fuel quality. Oh, you're not hearing me? Sorry. All right, I'll start over again. So, for the most important pollutants, the air pollutants from this plant, there will be continuous emission monitors. This is every moment of every day that they operate. There will be continuous emission monitoring, and that those reports are compiled. They have to be sent. They are sent quarterly to the DEP, and they in turn send them to EPA. So this plant will be this type of plant are the most monitored and regulated of industry in Pennsylvania.
And what happens, the second half of the question, what if these limits are violated, then what happens?
The DEP has a penalty policy out there that has gradations in it from if there are minor excursions that they have penalties that are generated from that automatically. If there are larger problems, they have the whole spectrum of enforcement from all the way to if they have a concern for the quality of the air, for something that would happen, that they can actually make the plant shut down until they've corrected the problem. And in addition to the monitoring, there are what are considered compliance assurance monitoring plans, so that not only if there are indications of degradation of the quality of the controls that are on the plant, that is monitored also. And so if there is a degradation showing where there might be something starting to go wrong, there are indications that and the plant has to take corrective actions on that and fix whatever problems before it becomes a problem.
Is this information going to be available to the public?
This information is in the application that has been filed with PADEP, and that's certainly available to the public right now to have, and you can ask PADEP about that.
So who do you have to go to, the EPA to get this information on a quarterly basis?
No. The Pennsylvania DEP office and the Northeast office here in Wilkes-Barre has the application. I'm sure that it can be provided also. Otherwise to anyone who wants it. I mean, we have that in an electronic form. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a right to know.
That's
My
absolutely.
Office, my office to provide everybody.
Individuals who want to speak have the option to go to the microphone or come here to the podium. So I want to call the next individual, Paula Ralstrom Nenish.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank Representative Farina for allowing us to come together to have this. and all the panelists for being here, especially in Jessup, in a very controversial time for our neighborhood. I'm a resident of Jessup and have been for 15 years, and I have a few questions I'm hoping some of the panel members can answer. First is for Sunita Aurora, our realtor. There's a lot of concern among property owners in this area as far as if this plant were to become a reality, the impact on our property values. In your professional opinion, can you share what you feel at this point in time there would be an impact, or if you have done some research as to some type of evidence that would support an impact?
I'll stand up to answer this question so everyone can hear me. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Berkeley study, which has, with the plant that was a coal power plant, where they did say home values decreased by 2 to 3%, but close to within 1 mile to 2 miles of the plant. The research that I did, I went through Jessup, and I went and I researched property values from 2008 to date. In 2008, your average median price was $115,000. In 2009, Jessup went down to $96,960, so there was a decrease of 16%. Then we went up in 2010 to $98,230, which we went up by 1.5%. Then you go down to 2011, where we jumped up by 24% to an average median price of $122,000. Come 2012, where we were down to $99,275, so we decreased 18.6%. 2013, we were up to 126, and we went up 26.9%. Then you go to 2014, and this is when we feel the economy is stabilizing, everything's going good. Our values dropped 19%, we're down to 101,750. Now, when you take the historic from 2008 to now, and you do all your average, your price is about 116 plus or minus. You know, what's going to happen in the future, none of us can predict, but Jessup is a pretty stable, it's a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath community. The prices have been more or less, you know, pretty much stable. They go up a little, they come down a little. I really don't think it's going to have an impact either way. I honestly think they're going to be the same steady values. And if you see between 2008, we went from 115 all the way to 101. We've just gone up, you know, more or less fluctuated, what, 7-8% up and down every year, and every year is different. A lot of it is demand and value. It's other factors that address the values of home, not necessarily what's there. I really think with an improvement, Valley View is a great school district. If they enhance the programs, you have better civic facilities, and you're getting a contribution to the tax dollars and the budget. If anything, we hope they would keep the property prices stable. And that's my opinion. I have no vested interest in Jessup. I don't know. First time I'm meeting Representative Farina. I don't know anybody on the panel either.
Thank you. My next question is for George Kelly, Lackawanna County Economic Development. Our Jessup business parks have developed over the years, as you probably are aware, enhancing our borough, bringing new jobs, relationships, and economic prosperity. What is your professional opinion of the impact of these business parks and fostering further relationships in Jessup Borough for bringing in new development should the Invenergy project become a reality?
Well, we all see the impact of the industrial parks. There's jobs created, there's family-sustaining jobs. All those are balanced, such as the trucking company that's right up on the hill. You see everything as a balance. Everything is a give and take. There's always a pro and con to any project, any company coming in. Whether it's a distribution company that might be distributing black powder, you just don't see it because it's in a warehouse, to a trucking company that has a lot of diesel engines and tractor trailers. So everything contributes to the environment. There's always a risk. When you look at the Invenergy project, it has its pros and its cons. We see the numbers, we see what's being presented. It's $1 billion project. We see permit fees, usually 10% of a project that would go to Jessup. We're hearing about a host fee. There's also the additional spending that will go on with this project. They're forecasting $1 million spent locally per year. During the construction phase, we're seeing $40 million in concrete